Hey Jake, how are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if you heard what I said right before we had you come on.
Yeah, I did. Like, you don't think we live in a purity culture either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, I definitely don't think we live in a purity culture. I think, and I don't even think we live in a hookup culture. I think we live
It
in a
also depends on who's the
promiscuity culture.
we. It depends on who the we is that you're talking about. Are you talking about the Western world? Are you talking about Canada? Are you talking about the
Yeah,
US? Are you talking
yeah,
like
the
which
West.
parts of the US? Because it changes also. So we're like super generalizing right now, which is cool to do. I just want to be on the same page on who we're generalizing.
Yeah, like I think generally like the West or whatever, like North America. I mean, I don't think Canada is that different than the U.S. in terms of culture, but
Mm.
I do think we live in a promiscuity culture, and I also think we live in a not a hookup culture because most men aren't actually hooking up with women. So you have maybe like 10% of men who are hooking up with like 90% of the women,
Oh,
and that's actually really sad because
do you have
well
do you have resources for that?
like I don't have them on me,
Because
but
that's
I
like
mean
those are
according to like
massive numbers that I would definitely need to see something for.
yeah, like if
But
you
I
look
want to
at
go
like
back to
statistics, like for example, like Bumble and Tinder, like you would see that like the findings that they came out with was that the majority of men swiped right on women, but the majority of women only swiped right on like 10% of the men, or
all you
something
said
really
there is
low,
that
like maybe even
is
lower.
that women are more picky with um, their
That
choice in
feels like it would be
partners.
the yeah, that feels like it would make for the opposite result. Like they would be seeing less
that
people than the men are because the men are just swiping on
and that
freaking
doesn't
anybody.
Yeah, and that doesn't tell us how many people are actually hooking up or anything. But I want to go back to what you initially said. You said you think that this is a
I mean,
promiscuous culture. And that's an interesting word to use right off the bat. But I want to know what you think. Like, how are you defining promiscuous?
like basically like sleeping with like multiple partners without actually being in a committed relationship or like a marriage, but like I wouldn't even say marriage. I would just say like a committed relationship.
Why is
So you
that
think
a
you're
wrong
saying this is a
choice?
culture. Yeah, are you saying that's a wrong choice? Or are you just saying, oh, we're in a culture now where people have sex outside of marriage?
Um, I mean, we are in a culture that where people that have sex outside marriage. We also are in a culture where people have sex outside a committed relationship, where people are having sex with multiple partners.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah,
Is
I agree.
why is that a bad thing though?
Why? Well, first off, um, I mean, there's multiple reasons, but like for women, there are also studies for women that they don't end up well, they end up getting divorced later on in life because
Why is
Women
they
get
divorce
slept with a
bad?
lot
divorced.
of men.
But
But
why
you
is
said
Sorry.
you
divorce
said
bad?
women you also said women get divorced. It's two people getting divorced.
who's divorcing?
No, but
But
the
also
women are.
why is
Yeah, yo,
divorce
you're right.
wrong?
You're no, you're right about the two people. But women actually initiate divorce like 75% of the time, or 80% of the
Right.
time.
Why is that bad? As a woman who has initiated divorce
Well,
multiple
you're
times.
breaking up families. You're breaking up
I didn't
families.
break up
Like
I
I
didn't
mean,
break up any
not
families. And why is that
no,
bad?
not you,
Also.
not you. I'm saying like the women who get divorced.
Right. So what's better for a woman to stay in an unhealthy marriage that she does not want to be in, that's not good for her? And we have studies to show how awful that is for children to also have to witness. What's worse, for her to stay in that just for kids, um, just so we can use this really interesting phrase of breaking up a family, which makes it sound so much more dramatic. Oh, we're actually transitioning out of something that was not working into something healthier. So, like, what's how do you determine what's happening? Are you breaking up a family, or are you transitioning to a healthier situation because this situation is no longer serving the family?
Oh, the situation is no longer serving the family for sure. I mean, like,
Right. So then it's
the way
divorce
the
is
courts,
good.
no, divorce is bad. Definitely.
Why is divorce
because
bad?
the children are being affected, and
Do
there's
you think
also
that
other
children-
reasons. I mean, when
Do you
women
think
get
that children
older,
are affected? Do you think that children are affected by divorce, but not by bad relationships being played out in front of them?
like, I think children at a very young age are traumatized by divorce. But
Children
when
at
they
a very
get
young age
older,
are traumatized by bad relationships too. Where
Right.
relationships where they don't see positive, healthy communication and intimacy, like not intimacy, sex, intimacy, like hugging and whatever. Children who don't see that
Affection.
modeled, affection, who don't see that modeled in their homes have an extremely hard time being able to perform those actions later in life. Even when they're friendly and they have nothing to do with their romantic relationships, they have a hard time having those actions be a part of their life. And then later in life, when they get to their romantic relationships, it's almost impossible. So why would I put a child in a situation
Right.
where I'm going to make their future so much harder? Because they have not
If
seen a
anything, you're
healthy
just
relationship
advocating.
model.
You're advocating for people to just not get married, because that would be better.
no, I'm not. That's not what I said at all. I just think that, like, when a man and a woman gets divorced, it does break up the family. And another thing too is that, like, the divorce rates are the highest it's ever been throughout history.
Yeah, because yes, can I tell you why? It's because women actually have financial independence and they don't have to stay in marriages that are harmful to them anymore. So like when I was in a marriage and it was really harmful
No,
for
but
me,
how do you know?
thankfully I was able to leave.
I don't know why I did this over my sweatshirt like that. That was really stupid.
Sure, but like, how do you know that the women in like the early 1900s were like miserable in their marriage? Like where's the evidence for that? Because like I don't see it.
I have no idea. Maybe they weren't, and maybe men just were way better back then, and maybe they suck now, and that's why we're leaving them. I don't know. I have no idea.
So you don't know. Okay, so I mean, I'm proposing like an idea. I do think that promiscuity is one of the reasons why women are leaving men. So,
Just
why is that bad?
Say more about that.
Well, put it this way. Like, I mean, look at our current environment, like Instagram and Tinder and like all these dating apps. I mean, you're like, it's basically like a global market. Like, women are able to find men anywhere in the world that they find attractive.
But
most of the women are going.
Most men can also find women anywhere in the world that they find attractive. It
That's
doesn't
right,
go
but
one way.
most of those women are not. But most of those women are going after the top 10% of men. So what happens is it just ends. Sorry.
Why shouldn't they? That just feels like the other men who are, for whatever reason,
well, first, I mean, okay, so there's multiple problems to that. First off, like, they're not going to be in a relationship because you're going to have all, like, the top 10% of men can't be in a relationship with 90% of women, right? They're going to have to like swap them out basically. And what happens is women end up getting heartbroken. So if you have multiple women sleeping with fewer men, that means that most women are going to not be in a committed relationship with men.
First of all, I would love to see statistics showing this, because so far this is just trust me.
But it's just math.
But second of all, why is that bad? Why is that bad? It sounds like you're complaining that women are doing what they want to do.
Okay, so I mean, like, women are just going to sleep with a guy, and then he's not going to be in a committed relationship with her, and then she's just going to sleep with the next guy.
If she doesn't want to be, if she wants to,
so she's going to be alone all her life. She's not going to have a partner that's going to take care of her kids.
If she doesn't want to,
tell you something. I love being single. I think it is so amazing. It's my biggest irritation with my boyfriend is that I love him, because it's like I would just love to be single. women like being alone. A lot of women actually love that. I know I have so many women friends who are happy to just like have some situationships when they want, or maybe date somebody for a year, and they are very happy to be alone most of the time. They have their own house, they have a career, some of them have children. So can you tell me why? Basically, all I'm hearing from you is women are doing what they want, and I don't like it because it's not working out for me.
No, I
another
gave you
argument
like
here?
I gave you. No, it's not because I don't like it. It's actually the well-being of women that are being impacted by this promiscuity culture.
Do you have any data to show? Yeah, do you have data that shows that they're being negatively impacted by their ability to choose?
I mean, I don't have data on me. Like I've already told you the Bumble and I mean the Tinder statistics.
Yeah, but that statistic just says that women are being more, and actually, if anything, it's showing that those women are more intentional and more specific about the people and choosy about the people that they want to spend their time with. And if I'm using your logic, it's honestly a little bit, what's the word that you were using? It's a word that I hate that begins with a P. Promiscuity of these men to just, it's really promiscuous of them to have 90% swiping yes. Because are they even reading the profiles? Are they even looking at that person saying, this could be a wife? No, they're not. They're trying to get, as someone I know has said recently, they're Peter wet.
No, I mean, I think you're denigrating men there like way too much. I mean,
I literally used your logic. I literally used
she's using your logic and turning it back on you.
I used exactly your logic.
Why? Because men swipe on most women? That's a bad thing?
You are saying that women are promiscuous and it's making women upset and you're worried about the well-being of women. And then you also in the same breath are saying that they are only swiping right on 10% of the profiles that they see. So
Jake, is your complaint that women aren't swiping on? Do you want women to swipe on more men? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like what's the solve here?
Well, here's the thing. Like first off, women do want to sleep with the highest quality man available.
Why would they sleep with low quality people? Why would
what does that even mean?
No, but the problem is
women want to sleep with women want to sleep. Hey Jake, women want to sleep with the man they want to sleep with. That's it.
No, but the problem is, I'll tell you the problem. The problem is these men that they're sleeping with are not going to commit to them at all. And
but you're saying they're high value men or whatever. So why wouldn't they commit?
Yeah, they're high value men, and they have so many options because 90% are swiping right on them that they have no reason. Sorry?
Promiscuous, I fear. Because they have all of these options and they can. So actually, the problem is not the women. It's the men that don't want to commit. It's the.
No.
Okay, so then the rest of the 90%, so then the rest of the 90%, the rest of the 90% should figure their shit out and figure out what the difference is. I'm confused about what you think.
Yeah, can you summarize your point in like one sentence for us? What are you trying to say here? Like women should swipe on more men, or women are too picky, or men are swiping on too many women? Can you just summarize for me in one sentence?
Women are swiping, women are all swiping the same guys. And those same guys are not committing to them, and they're sleeping with them because they have so many options. So women end up getting heartbroken because of this, because these guys cannot commit to them. And that is harmful for women in the long term.
Because that's their responsibility also. That's their responsibility. If they want to put themselves out there and they want to get heartbroken, they are grown women. They're grown people. They will, guess what? Get a therapist, which many of these high value, whatever the fuck men you're talking about, I guarantee don't. These women are going to get a therapist and they're going to figure it out and not make it everybody else's problem.
Okay, I mean that's fine. If you think that women should suffer because of it, I'm okay with that.
They're
but they're
not
going to
suffering,
suffer
they're
in the
having
long
Women
term.
fun.
aren't suffering. Women are
It sounds
actually
They are
living their
suffering.
best lives when they get
It
to do
sounds
that.
like
Where's your
yeah,
where's your data on that? This is just your opinion, and you sound honestly, you just sound like personally perturbed that women aren't picking from the bottom of the barrel, and you're using your own
No, I'm not
train of thought
perturbed.
here.
I mean, like it is what it is. I'm not gonna. I can't change what
Jake,
women choose to want to be with.
Let me give you your argument back to you. This is what you're saying. You're saying, I think it's wrong that women only want the guys that they deem as worthy to sleep with. I think they should pick from some of the guys that they don't really like. That's what you're saying.
No, but the problem, here's the problem. I'll tell you the problem. They're choosing these men thinking that they can get into a long-term relationship with them.
How do you know that they're
Right.
thinking that?
and also, why do you think that they think that? Do you think it's maybe some of the things that the men are saying to them, perhaps?
I mean, why would like how is a woman gonna raise a child and
Not every woman wants
like
to raise a child. And not every woman, especially like when they're in their 20s or whatever, that's not a priority to everyone.
I think for most women it is, and like it might not be a priority for you, but I think most women it is. Like I think most
Okay,
women want
show
to
us
be in a committed relationship.
Show us your data. Show us your data for that. And
I
also
mean,
show
like,
me the data
like
that shows that
since
women aren't
since
getting
the
in
beginning
committed
of
relationships.
mankind, like that,
That's not
like
data.
since the beginning of mankind.
That's not data.
Even if that's true that women want to have monogamous partners and they want to have kids, why shouldn't they go for people that they're interested in to be able to form that family later on? They have to go for people that they're not interested in.
Like a lot of these apps are very deceptive because they're showing women, okay, like here's this really hot guy, right? And a lot of women, like I said, they think they can actually start something with these men, but the guys end up just humping and dumping, right? And like
Yeah, but
a lot of
that
guys
is the
have done
Where
it.
are you getting this from? Where are you getting this from?
That's also, if that's true,
Like,
that means that the guy is the one who is having sex with them and then getting rid of them, when a woman had, from this story, that when a woman had intentions of something else. So what is the solve for the woman? What's the solve for her? What is she supposed to do if she is only
supposed to
picking a
lower her
selective
standards,
select?
like a little bit.
That's it.
You
That's
want
what I
women to
was
lower
waiting
their
for.
standards. Thank you for admitting it. Holy shit.
Yeah, but I want
Why would they
women
do
to
that?
lower their
Why would they lower
so that
their
they can
standards?
actually get into a committed relationship with them.
Jake,
That's why.
you're advocating instead of, this is so fucked up, and I'm so glad you're revealing yourself on the internet, because you are advocating for women to lower their standards instead of for men to act and behave better. That is fucked up and disgusting.
No, but you have like 10% of guys. They're literally 10% of guys. They have all the women they can choose from.
It is fucked up and disgusting.
Why would those 10% of guys commit?
I'm going to mute you. I'm going to mute you because I'm in the middle of a sentence. It is fucked up and disgusting that you are advocating for women to lower their standards instead of advocating for these apparently 90% of men to not maybe get their shit together and act better. That is
also,
I don't even know how you've convinced yourself to do that.
You're also asking the women to lower their standards because the 10% upper echelon is treating them like
You're
garbage.
still talking?
How does that make sense?
Okay.
How does it make sense that they're going to lower their standards if the upper 10% didn't treat them right? That makes no sense. So I'm going to lower my standards. I'm going to shoot lower than the best of the best to hopefully get a better result. That doesn't make sense. The reason that this is like so insane to me is because by this whole if the world is the way that you're describing it, the actual solve is that these men need to figure out how to be monogamous. Not the women, not the promiscuous women, it's the promiscuous men. They're the ones who are pumping and dumping, like you said, or just picking everybody. And like, I'm shocked that you're not hearing it. I'm just baffled.
I'm going to take him off unmute now. If he's still talking, then I'm dropping the call. Let's see what's happening.
Okay, hello?
Yes, you're back on.
Okay, so I do think that these top tier guys should actually get into monogamous relationships with women. It's just that it's the reason why they don't is because they just have so many options not to. Right?
So they should just fuck around because they have the option to fuck around. And also, these women that are picking 10%, 90% of the men are also swiping right on them. So they also have tons and tons of options because everyone's swiping on them, regardless of their quality.
No, but they're not swiping right. Women aren't swiping right back, so they're not actually matching with those guys.
Okay, I guess
they're only
it depends
swiping
on the app
right on the 10% of guys. No, like pretty much every app out there is like that.
Well, I think on like, it's been a while since I've been on an app, but I think on like Hinge, you can maybe it's like a premium thing where you can see who already swiped on you. But anyways, doesn't really matter. Anyway, proceed.
But I mean, it is like, we have to understand that it is in male nature to sleep with lots of women.
Nope.
To procreate, right?
Nope.
Sure it is.
No,
like if you have
listen to me.
If you have one guy,
it's also in our human nature that when we feel like our home is threatened to fucking kill each other, and it's still illegal. That we have the benefit of moral conscience. So men are not dragging their knuckles on the ground, swinging their dick at anything that moves. That's just not reality. And then you're giving them a free pass that they're allowed to just
I'm not giving them a free pass though. I'm just explaining no, I'm not. I'm explaining how it is. I'm explaining what the situation is.
That's not reality. That's not true, Jake. It's not true. It's not true. And even if that were true, we're just supposed to allow men to
wait, what's not true?
That men can't control their sexual urges. They
anything you've said tonight.
Well, they are.
Men have just as much ability to control their sexual urges as anyone else. Period.
I mean, I do think men want to, have sex more than women do, but
you started this call saying
you're
that
right.
the
It's
women,
not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
You started this call saying that the women were being promiscuous. And now you're saying
but
that
they are.
But
they're sleeping with 10% of guys. And then you have 10% of guys who are also promiscuous.
They're sleeping with I'm sorry. They are swiping on 10% of people.
And sleeping with. I mean, let's be real. I mean, if you're swiping right on 10% of guys, you're most likely going to be hooking up with
Jake,
them.
maybe that's how you do the apps.
I don't know about that.
No,
maybe that's how you do the apps, babe. That's not how that works.
You need to bring data for us. Here's my problem that I'm still hung up on, and why I don't even know why we kept you on the call. You presented a case basically saying that that women are being made victims, and instead of advocating for men to treat them better, you're advocating for women to lower their standards so that they're okay with being in shittier or being in relationships with people that they don't want to fucking be with. And that is,
I don't know why you're putting words in my mouth.
That's literally
I'm saying
I don't have to do it. We can go back and watch the call. That is what you said. So you said women should lower their standards. We can have a clip. Somebody should get the clip and add it in here. And you said women need to lower their standards.
Yes, I do think. Okay, just hear me out. I do think women need to lower their standards, but I also think those top 10% of guys who are being promiscuous should also commit to women as well, right? Like I'm advocating for responsibility on both sides.
Responsibility. Women should, if anything, all that you've made it clear here is that women should raise their standards. That we shouldn't even be fucking the 10% of guys on these apps.
If you want to sleep with like top tier guys and fuck around, like I don't care. Like you're more than welcome to. Like
using
there's so many apps out there.
Top tier is crazy.
Yeah.
I also
So
people are allowed to enjoy any sexual relation. There's no, you're gonna love. Actually, Jake, do you want to know something that's a fact, a scientific fact that you're gonna fucking hate? There is no biological difference between a woman's body that has had sex and has not had sex. There is no biological difference.
What do you mean by biological?
You can do
the
a
definition of the
full-
word biological.
You can do a full exam on a woman who has had sex and a full exam on a woman who has not, and their bodies you will not be able to tell the difference.
Okay, but like mentally, they're not the same.
Why would they mentally not be the same?
How can you thought police that?
Because
I feel like
because the more promiscuous women are, the less likely they're able to stay in a committed relationship.
But you are the one saying that men are being promiscuous.
That's not even true.
It's not true. And also, you're saying men are promiscuous.
There's studies on it.
It's not true.
Send us the studies. So, Jake, I'm tempted. Part of me wants to ban you because this call is so disturbing. But also, I would love for you to actually follow through with the data. So if you're going to call a call-in show to make an argument, it really helps if you have things to back your argument other than trust me, bro. Please call back next week. It's like almost 4 a.m. here. So I'm ready to move on with this call. And you kind of lost me the second you said women should lower their standards. I don't think any human should lower their standards. And I definitely don't think women on dating apps should lower their standards either. So I'm going to let you go. If you want to call back with the data that you say that there is, I would love to hear it so that you can back that up. But otherwise, I think we're all good here.
Okay.
Bye, Jake.
Take care.
Bye, Jake.
Ugh.
On the bright side, I'm gonna have a really fun.
Fell over.
Oh god, your lamp is like, I'm exhausted.
I'm done. Yeah,
that was crazy. On the bright side, I'm going to have a really good social clip for us this week.
That's great. That was infuriating.
That was infuriating.
I can't.
Hey, it's Jimmy Snow here. I'm the executive producer on the line with a fun fact. Did you know 100% of the hosts of this channel enjoy eating? It's true. And if you would like to help contribute to their ongoing addiction, you can do so by going over to Patreon or becoming a channel member. There are show-specific, host-specific tiers. Those are awesome. But also, you can leave a super thanks with a special little highlighted comment. You can like, comment, and subscribe. All of those will help fill our whittle bellies. By the way, check out some of this content over here. Algorithm, what next?